This is the Mission 43 podcast with Bryan Von Herbulus
and Brian Madden.
Hey everybody, it's Bryan and Bryan here. Welcome back to the Mission 43 podcast. Today is a really special day for us as we continue to develop a relationship with the Challenged Athletes Foundation here at Mission 43 and the J.A. and Catherine Albertson Foundation. What a tremendous organization that we've had the opportunity to get to know and spend some time with both athletes and the people that run that organization. And once again, we have an opportunity to sit down with somebody that's been instrumental in who Challenged Athletes Foundation is today. And he comes from our world, the military veteran world, former Marine Corps officer, and now the guy behind Operation Rebound at Challenged Athletes Foundation, Nico Marcolongo. So Nico, the big junta of Operation Rebound, welcome to Boise, Idaho, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
time here. Bryan and Bryan, it's my first time to Idaho. It's a beautiful place. I love it already. I'm looking forward to spending my weekend here and really getting to know some of the members of Mission 43.
Great.
So, yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you and some of the Challenged Athletes folks here for the big weekend, the Twilight Criterium, and all the big activities going on around the city of Boise this weekend. So, again, welcome, and we want to dive into your story a little bit, and it's a really unique opportunity that you've had over about 15 years or so now.
Yeah, so Marine officer, 14 years. It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Obviously, we knew each other in Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And we have Oz Sanchez in common.
Absolutely.
One of
your good friend, Oz Sanchez,
Rob,
still doing good things in the adaptive
athletes.
sports. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This was a good Marine Corps moment.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, we're hugging.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So 14 years in the Marine Corps, a couple tours in Iraq, amongst other places. After my second tour, I came back a lot different than I had left. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress for that deployment. So my world had changed, and I knew that I had to get better. And so that's what I focused on. And I'm getting out of the Marine Corps, and I knew that it couldn't just end there, that I was committed still to leading and helping out wherever I could. Well, I had been connected with the Challenge Athletes Foundation a few years prior through my own charitable efforts, and established a fund at CAF for injured vets and first responders while I was a captain in the Marine Corps. So when I got out, they asked me to lead the program. And I said, absolutely. Thank you. So as I got out, February 15th, 2008. And the following Monday, I was at work at CAF.
Wow.
That's a good transition.
Yeah.
It was
Most
a nice
don't
little
do that.
transition. So now, I say, as we are just serving in a different uniform. Yeah, it's a continuation of my service. And really the ethos of CAF and Operation Rebound in particular is to empower individuals to lead active lives and to excel in life through sports. And the Operation Rebound program is focused on injured veterans and first responders of all eras. Matter of fact, our oldest athlete is 95 years old. His name is Albert Bucarelli. And in 1943, he was drafted, coming out of high school, was sent to Italy, and got his leg blown off by a German shell just south of Monte Cassino. And for 75 years, he had no idea that anything existed as far as adaptive sports. And he got linked up with an organization that raced cars around a track. And so we supported him to go do this racing. And he just loved it. And then we brought him out to San Diego for our San Diego Triathlon Challenge. I think, Bryan, you met him there.
Been down there. We
had him on a spin bike. We had a vintage plane fly overhead. And he was as happy as a clam. Yeah. So really, this is a way to not only thank somebody for their service, but to engage them in areas where they thought they wouldn't be able to do anymore. Because when I meet a vet, I meet somebody in a hospital bed, and maybe a month earlier they're leading soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and in a millisecond they lose their legs, they're paralyzed, they're blind, and they're thinking, what's next? Yeah. And I let them know they're going to do all the things they used to do and things they never dreamed of doing. And sometimes that might take a little while. So sometimes the first contact just might be, hey, how you doing? And my Tally, my service dog, she just retired. I'd bring her to the hospitals a lot because sometimes they didn't want to talk to me. They want to see that dog. Yeah. So that was kind of my in. And then after a few visits, we started building rapport, and I'd let them know, hey, when you're ready, let's get together. I'd ask them what sports you like to do. And because physicality, as both of I mean, that's a big part of being in the military. Yeah. So when that's taken away or perceived to be taken away, there's a big loss. And when you can't even get out of the rack and pee on your own, you need help to do that. You think, what's my purpose anymore? And so what we try and do is engage them so they have purpose again. And what makes us different, I think, at Challenge Athletes Foundation, though we do have a lot of great programs, we'll do some, with our supporters like Mission 43, the Albertsons Foundation, Family Foundation, OSER. We'll do mobility clinics and things like that. We'll have Sanders Triathlon Challenge, which is a great event. Our ethos is really to support the individual in whatever they want to do. So whatever sport. I've got a firefighter who flies an acrobatic plane. So we paid for an engine and a wing for his plane, and now he's a world champion in acrobatic plane flying. I got a Zumba dancer. He was in Puerto Rico who was blown up several times in Iraq, severe traumatic brain injury. He found that through Zumba dance, he's able to get some of his agility back, focus more. We paid for a lot of his certifications. So now he can teach dance and now make a living doing something he loves doing. So you name the sport. It's not just triathlon, though we were founded by triathletes. It's not just triathlon. I've got a lot of air rifle shooters. I got a lot of archers. Heck, I could start my own militia.
So specifically, you essentially, once you identify somebody and you help them kind of determine a sport and then assist on the equipment side and then finding organizations or basically a community get involved in that?
Absolutely. So generally, it can have two ways. Some people know, hey, I'm on this track. And, for example, CC Mazik, and I keep throwing names out there. I really want to humanize this for people. These are real people. She was 82nd Airborne. She was a jump master. And she frapped into the ground, broke her back, paralyzed. So she became really good at track and field, javelin in particular. And she said, you know what? If I can get a plane ticket to the Nationals, I think I could do pretty well. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get your plane ticket. We give you your shot. She flies the Nationals. She ends up making the Paralympic team for the 2012 Paralympics in London. And she goes to the Paralympics. What did that cost? $300? Right. Totally changed her life, right? So it's about empowerment, not enabling. Now, the flip side, we also have, I don't know what I want to do. Well, let's bring you to something. Let's bring you out to a mobility clinic. Shelly Tebow, one of our first responders, she was a New York State trooper, ended up losing her leg, brought her out here. She was not at an optimal weight. She saw what the possibilities were. She contacted me and said, I want a hand cycle. And I said, oh, look, in your application, it says you're below the amputee. Are there any kind of residuals? You have a traumatic brain injury? No, that's just all she knew because the organization she linked up with did hand cycling. They said, oh, you have a disability. Here's a hand cycle. Try it out. And then she applied. I said, nope, we're going to get you on an upright bike and we're going to get you a running foot. Huh? What? But she had no idea. It was new. So you're coming out to San Diego. You're going to see what the possibilities are. She came out. Boom, had this epiphany. Now she's doing triathlon. She's all over the place. She's training hard. She's lost, I want to say, 50, 75 pounds. She's going to do the New York City Marathon here coming up, or New York City Triathlon coming up here pretty soon in this month. So that's what we're talking about. Frontline to finish line is our motto. Whether that's, riding bikes with your kids, winning gold at the Paralympics and everything in between. Also, accountability is important. Again, I keep getting back to this empowerment, vice enabling. It's easy sometimes just to give people something because you feel bad for their situation. What they really need is some accountability. And I had a vet one time. He called me. He's blind.
Is this the wetsuit?
This is the wetsuit.
All right, perfect.
We got him a wetsuit to dive quarries. In Illinois, because they don't have an ocean there, right? So they're diving quarries. And when you're blind, you think, why is a blind guy scuba diving and stuff? Well, you think about when you go in the water, underwater, how you have a heightened sense of hearing, and then touch and stuff. Now think about that if you're blind, touch and hearing. So going underwater is pretty cool. All right. So he says, "Hey Nico, I gained some weight. I need a triple XL wetsuit." And I said, "Rick, we're not going to special order it. They don't make them that big. You need to get back to your fighting weight." So what does he do? A month later, he calls me and says, "Hey Nico, what's up? Guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He's all, "I took your advice. I got on a treadmill, lost 25 pounds. I no longer have to take my diabetes medication. Can you send me some smaller t-shirts?" I said, "Hell yeah, I can do that." So, and you know this, in the military, you need a mission, right? And so when somebody gives you a mission, what they're telling you is, I have confidence in you to accomplish this. Right. And so you bust your butt, do everything you can to not let that team down. So that's what he did. So that's what we do at Operation Rebound. It's at Challenge Athletes Foundation. We find out, what are your goals? What do you want to do? Even though you might be by yourself on a race, all right, and you're hitting mile whatever, 300 or whatever it is, and you're hurting, you're not alone. Independence does not mean alone. You've got, just like in the Marine Corps, everything we do, all those F-18s, all those tanks, everything we do, Ospreys, everything, artillery, that's to support that Lance Corporal at the tip of the spear with his bayonet. And that's why I let them know, you got an entire organization behind you, but you got to do it. You got to put the sweat in. You got to be out there. And by the way, you're not just representing yourself. You're representing all these others. Right. And you're setting a standard for others. And you're setting an example for others who are going to come after you to go, wow, I want to do this. So another example, and I keep giving these, Lance Weir. Lance was Marine Corps Reserve. He jumped into a river, hit his head on a rock, and paralyzed him. High-level quadriplegic. So I knew Lance a number of years through a service dog organization, and I was like trying to get him into sports. He was very reluctant. He played football in high school, when you're in college. And so finally, the Marine Corps Warrior Game Trials were at Camp Pendleton. I said, "Lance, no excuses in your backyard. Come to this." So he did. He's trying to figure out what to do. And so they're like, "How about hand cycling?" "Well, I'm a quad. I can't really." "How about swimming?" I can't swim." And we're like, "Lance, every Marine freaking shoots. Try air rifles." "Okay, that's something I could do." So he gets in there. He starts shooting air rifle. He wins the Warrior Game Trials, gets chosen for the Warrior Games, wins there, gets so good that they say, "You can't come back and compete anymore because you're so good at this, but I want you to come back and coach." So then he starts getting on the development team as an air rifle shooter. So he does that, and then we had an opportunity to get him a tandem hand cycle. This thing is like the size of a frickin' F-18 Delta, Pilot, he sits in the back and cranks as much as he can. Somebody's on the front pedaling. So we got him this thing, and he's doing our $1 Million Challenge up down the coast of San Francisco, San Diego. Right. And then I was like, "Lance, why don't we get you into Ironman?" Nobody has ever done an Ironman on a tandem hand cycle before. So we had him do the bike portion. And we worked with Ironman, and I said, "Look, it's just like a regular hand cycle. It's just 2 people on it." And they're like, "Roger that, let's do it." So he became the first person, he and his tandem partner, to do an Ironman event on a tandem hand cycle. Yeah, he's trailblazing. Now, you'll talk to a lot of people, and he uses an automatic wheelchair. So there are a lot of people out there who use automatic wheelchairs who are thinking, "I got to sit on the sidelines." It's not true. It can be done. There's a lot of stuff out there. So that's what we're here to do. We're changing those perceptions. We're changing the culture. And we really want to emphasize independence. We really want to emphasize you, the veteran, the first responder who's injured, you get to choose the direction in which you want to go, and we're going to support you. Because, what happens often is that when you end up getting injured, you get that you're taken out of your team, right? You're in that hospital bed, and you're thinking, all right, I can't make any choices on my own anymore. Somebody else is going to have to push me around, help me go to the bathroom, whatever, feed me. Hey, we're going to take incremental steps to re-empower you. And that first step towards empowerment often is asking them, what is it that you want to do? So they can finally start regaining a sense of self.
I think that word empowerment is so powerful.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's truly the ethos of what Mission 43 stands for. It's not about enabling. It's truly about just giving you the opportunity to determine what direction you want to go and helping point you there. And you get that sense of independence on who you want to become post transition from a previous phase of life, because that's all it is.
Yep.
But you have more phases to live, and you can do it in a productive way, and you can figure out, and you have the choice. I think Kristen Armstrong, when we met with her, she said, you get to transition.
Right.
Some of your athletes didn't get to necessarily make the decision that they were going to leave the military. They were forced to in many ways. But the majority of us get to transition. And so in that process, what do we want to become? Because it is achievable. You have to set your goals, set your mind to what you want to become, what kind of purpose-driven individual you want to be, and go get it.
That's right.
And you can do it. And
we know in the military, the most dangerous time in any operation is transition, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. You're reaching that culminating point, boom. So it takes a team, a network, to watch out for one another.
Yeah.
And then once you realize that, it's okay to ask for help, we do this as a team. What makes us strong in the military is sharing information, communicating with one another, keeping your combat effective. And I tell that to all my vets, hey, we need to keep your combat effective.
Yeah, and what does that mean
And
now?
what does that mean now? And so we have a number of athletes. You're going to meet one here pretty soon. Talk to Carlos Moleda, just an incredible story of resilience and of somebody who has the right mindset and then is such a great mentor for the rest, not only our injured vets, but our CAF athletes as a whole. So for me, it's been really good. Just help me in my transition, being able to give back and continue my mission as a Marine officer, even though I'm not wearing the uniform. I'm not authorized to wear the uniform. That's okay. I still, what I learned, that foundation I had in the Marine Corps, is allowing me to do the things I'm doing now. And we don't want the troops to forget their service. We want them to build on that and realize that, use that to get you through those tough times. And you just have a new team around you,
And they have so much to offer and so much to give and so much that they can impact in their own communities and in their own ways. It's, to me, the military veteran community is such an untapped resource in our surroundings every day. And I love that you're empowering them to take their own mantle and become something and recognize they can do more than they thought they could. But also in that process, they're inspiring so many other people.
Absolutely.
I think about the countless people we've met now through Challenged Athletes Foundations. And every time you meet one of them, you have to go look yourself in the mirror and check yourself and be like, holy shit, they can accomplish that with these types of issues they face every day. I got to fix myself mentally, physically, and prepare myself. And it's amazing. And I'm sure you go through that process on a daily basis with these athletes.
I am honored and humbled to be in the position which I am, to be here. I'll get plenty of emails and letters. Thank you. And I let them know, what, this is your program. I'm just here to facilitate it. The fact that we are able to provide you some resources or give you a suggestion or just open a door, you ran through it and you did it. And that's what's happening on a daily basis. And we also emphasize is we want these athletes to go out and compete on the same playing field as everybody else. We're not looking for a level playing field. We're not looking for separate but equal. We want you going out there running the same races as somebody with two legs. Eric McElvaney is a great example of this. Eric McElvaney, Marine Corps captain, lost his leg on December the 9th, 2011 in Afghanistan. And he came back and his CO said, hey, Mac, when are you going to run your first marathon? And at first he's like, what do you mean I lost my leg? And he started thinking, when am I going to run my first marathon? And it really was his little girl, Lupe, who changed his mindset on disability. he was like, I don't have my leg. I don't have my leg, because she asked him, "Hey, Dad, I want you to come out and play with me." He said, "Well, I don't have my leg." She's all, "What do you mean? You have 5 legs?" And he was like, "I do. I got a running leg. I got a swimming leg. I got a biking leg, and all this." And then he's with Lupe again, and driving to the wheelchair is accessible. That's actually what it was. He was going to a parking lot. And "Why do you get to park here, Dad?" "Well, I don't have a leg." "You have 5 legs, And he's like, "You know what? You're right. I'm never going to park in one of these spots again." When he does his triathlons, he runs with age group. That's his thing. And so he's out there with everybody else, because now, as we know, fewer and fewer people are serving in the military. Yeah. And it's harder to get on bases because of all the access protocols, security. So there's this wall between our military and our civilian community. So anything we can do to break that down, these touch points where our veterans and our civilian community are mingling, we need that, or else we're going to lose that support. Yeah. And that's why it's important, like Mission 43. You're out there, you're getting these vets back into society through employment, educational opportunities, networking. And it's not just self-contained. You're out there connecting with all the civilian population as well. And we're showing that we're a vital part of this community as veterans. I mean, we're citizen soldiers. Yeah. We started off as citizens. We joined the military to serve. Some of us did 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever, 4. Some did 30 or 40. But we come back into society. And that's where that transition is so important. And that's where Mission 43 comes in. That's where Operation Rebound comes in, to help with that transition and help them flourish and reach their goals.
That just reminded me, I had the distinct pleasure of meeting President George W. Bush a few weeks ago. And one thing that really stood out to me as I went through the Bush Institute in the library there, there's a point where he says he's getting ready to leave the presidency after 8 years of, arguably one of the most trying times in office as a president of the United States. But what he states is the best job title I ever had was not president of the United States. It was citizen of the United States. And that's it. We're all citizens. We may wear the military uniform, or we may hold the highest office as president of the United States. But at the end of the day, we're American citizens always. That's right. And we are going to have to go back and live productive lives post whatever that other portion of our life was. So you embrace it and you get on with life. And you transition from phase of life to phase of life. Just do it productively and surround yourself with people that can help you do that.
Yep. Keep moving forward.
Yeah, always. Seek battle, as Rudy Reyes said right here in this studio. Seek battle in your own space every day. And it's so true. Seek battle and win it and accomplish something in your life.
Well, we've got a great partnership between Mission 43 and Challenged Athletes Foundation and Operation Rebound. So we will continue to be spreading the word in the community. What's the best way for people out there listening to get in touch and find out more if they know somebody or if they themselves?
Absolutely. So you can visit operationrebound.org. You can always email me directly, Nico, November, India, Charlie, Oscar, at challengedathletes.org.
All right, we'll put that out there too, but we appreciate it, and welcome to Boise.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you a lot more.
Yeah, good to go. Thanks,
thanks for being here, Nico.
Yeah.
So until next time, get out there, lead, learn, and inspire others in your community. Thanks for listening to the Mission 43 podcast. To learn more, go to mission43.org.